That's right. We are going to go over 4 lessons Gorillaz taught me about music production. Slanjavan music producers, you are tuned into Whisky and Synths. My name's David, and this is a channel that's about whiskey drinking and music making. So I'm really glad you guys can make it with me today. We're going to look at 4 things Damon Albarn of Gorillaz has taught me about music production. My name's David. I make music for over 15 years. I've helped over 500 people release their music, get gigs and things like that. And I manage a recording studio in Canterbury in Kent as well. And my mission is to share my music production research with lessons I've learned with you guys so you can make the best music you can as well. And today, Damon Albarn, Gorillaz. So Gorillaz have been around since 1998, but they're still at the forefront of making music. It's absolutely an amazing feat and famed for their collaboration. So of course we're going to look at that. Today we're going to do our video in a video podcast style, and it's going to be 4 tips, like I said, mainly just me talking about the research I've found. If you want to dig deeper once you're finished, down in the comments, I've put the sources of where I found out all this info from as well. And this is, I guess, for kind of intermediate music producers who like a video that's just a bit of chat and they can go away and take that knowledge and use it themselves. So hopefully that's you. So, like I said, we're going to start with talking about collaboration, how to be a good collaborator. And the biggest thing Damon said was not to be precious about things. And it is quite easy to get guarded of your ideas, that melody or those lyrics, but he said it's best not to get too precious about those things and kind of don't hold on to it too much. If you want to be a collaborator, you're going to have to be very open to ideas. And he said with his collaborators, often they would make it work. The exact quote was, he said, if you allow yourself to be open to anything and don't be precious about it, you can be a great collaborator. And he said, sometimes if the chemistry's not there, he said it does happen, but I really try. Whatever we get, we try and make it work somehow. It's a positive thing. So I think it's a really good note because it's quite hard being a collaborator sometimes. It's quite hard giving up your ideas or kind of you think you've got something awesome, but it doesn't really work. So you have to ditch it. So I think that not being precious and being open is amazing advice. He's also got some amazing tips on writing lyrics, all right? So he said you get the chords and then improvise words and melodies over the top. His exact quote was, he said, I get my chords and then improvise in one take. It's a subconscious thing. So I think of my language as somehow connected to the future or the past, untethered to now. And with this record, I mostly left the words as they came out. Now, during my research over different artists, I have found that a lot of them have this almost spiritual outlook that they're like channeling the words through them. And it's quite amazing to think that when he's writing, he'll just literally do it in one take and the words just flow out of him and inspired by the music and the chords that are already there. So I personally haven't really written much like that myself, but I have heard David Byrne talk about it, Michael Jackson, Lauren from Churches, and loads of artists using this technique where they kind of just blur out how they feel in the moment over the music, almost in a reaction that's like a feedback loop. And I guess later on, some artists say they go on to edit it later on, edit it down. And it looks like Damon from Gorillaz has a sort of similar process to this, which is really cool. Before we get on to our next tip, are you one of the producers with hundreds, maybe thousands of unfinished Ableton projects in your hard drive? Well, I want to help you get your best ones finished because it's what we all want. We want to get our best projects finished out there and released. So what if I said, well, you could do it in 10 steps, in 10 days, and you'd have one finished track and you could repeat that process? Well, I've made a guide for you that does just that. Each day you get a thing you're aiming for, you get a bit of information and checklists, and then you get an action, a thing you have to do. And without spending more time than you already do on your music, I just help you use it more productively. You can get that track finished. So if that sounds good to you, I've got my Finish That Damn Track guide down below in the comments section. Click it and I'll send that out to you for free. I'm sure you'll love it. I just want to help you make the best music you can. Now let's get to the next tip. So Damon Albarn's actually really famous for his kind of well-being routine. Well, not so much when he was in Blur, who are famous for being a bit of a party animal band back in the 90s, but now he's quite famous for his kind of wellness routine that affects it and treating his music quite seriously with the hours he does as well. So I've got some information about it here. He says he keeps working hours at his studio 10 till 5 every day. He cycles there from his house. He actually apparently lost his driving license 18 years ago and never renewed it, which is quite funny. And then he has vegetables, fruit, ginger, juices it all up. And then for the past 3 years, he's been doing a yoga routine. And he started having the yoga teacher come to his kind of studio and home to do that. And he says he tries to do a class every day, a yoga class every day, even if he's on tour, Jamaica, Japan, the US, he says, anywhere. And he says it's kind of something he just really loves to do to keep healthy. And I think, as you know, a lot of you guys watching this might be younger than me, but as you kind of get to your mid-30s and beyond, it is worth taking care of your body, and it helps you keep fit, keeps your mind sharp, helps the inspiration come. Getting out and about helps inspiration as well. And even if you are not in your 30s, it's still good to keep in the best shape you can as well. So I'm not saying go mental with a mad routine, but just, you know, kind of something that keeps you ticking over, whether it's a gentle walk or cycle to work or anything like that. Because I know a lot of us fit in our music making around working hours. So maybe you cycle back from work if you can, get that refreshed feeling. You might find it actually energizes more than sitting on the bus. And I know everyone can't do that, but if you can think of something like that, you could incorporate into your daily routine. You might find you've got more energy for the music making and more inspiration as well. Come to think of it, do you have a routine to keep yourself healthy as a music maker? I kind of as a general thing, I see music as part of my life, but whatever you do, guys, keep it in the comments. I want to hear what kind of things do you like to do apart from music that keeps you healthy and happy and maybe feeds back into your music to keep you going. And just on a side note, cycling is a big one for electronic music producers. Kraftwerk with Tour de France, the famous album. We've also had Chemical Brothers do the Velodrome song for the 2012 Olympics as well. Check out if you haven't heard it. So cycling and electronic music go hand in hand, which is quite funny. All right, so this last Gorillaz Damon Albarn tip was quite cool, I thought. And this is about setting up space for your music, setting up a kind of atmosphere that and you want to get into to make the sound you want on your track. Now, for example, he said we set up old dusty cranky keyboards, a guitar and saxophone, and an old Wurlitzer drum machine from the 50s. And imagine they were a house band on a cruise ship that had just been left anchored somewhere off the coast of whatever. Nobody's on it, so they're playing to an empty ballroom every night. So if that's not an evocative image, what is? So if your imagination works that way, ticking over with vivid imagery, and I know some songwriters are like that. Nick Cave said he's like that as well. He gets a lot of ideas from the dreams and images. It's worth delving into that. Not all of us are like that, but some of us are very visual people. So if you can think of a painting or a picture or imagine a movie scene, if you actually describe that, especially with people you're collaborating with, then boom, you can actually use that to your advantage with your music, which I think is quite cool. So hopefully you've enjoyed this video. That's 4 quick lessons I learned from Gorillaz, aka Damon Albarn's the main music man in that, if I can say his name right. I love Blur as well, so maybe we'll look at Blur one day. If you think that's a good idea, drop that in the comments. And guys, if you have any tips for each other or know more about Gorillaz than I do, feel free to add some comments in below with your favorite tips and facts about Gorillaz. I'd be interested to read them as well. Let's keep it positive in there. I'm trying to build a positive music making community here, and I'm sure that's what you're here for as well. Also, you might be here to help get information finishing your tracks. Remember, if you're stuck with loads of tracks, you want to finish that damn track, I've got my 10-step, 10-day guide where you just get a ping, email every day for 10 days, and it just gives a quick thing you can do to get that track finished, and you can repeat that method and process to finish your damn track process on your best ideas, and give that away for free, because my mission on earth is to help everyone out there make the best music they can, get well-being from making music, and feel happy and satisfied with their music. So if I can help you, let me know. I want to help. And hopefully this video has been a bit of fun, bit of help, bit of entertainment. If there's any artists you want me to feature, drop it in the comments. I'll do that in future. But yeah, enjoy your whiskey. Enjoy your synths and your music making. Slanjava music producers. I will catch you later. Whiskey and Synths.